Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. With the price of Bitcoin, with the price of some of these altcoins exploding right now, here's what the mainstream media is talking about. With Bitcoin options launching for the first time ever and a Bitcoin ETF supposedly on the way, what does this mean for you as a Bitcoin hodler?
Today, the CME is offering Bitcoin options for the first time, just granted today, which is fantastic. SEC is concerned about liquidity, so they're going to bypass that through options and futures, and then also safety. The more we can get on publicly account statements like your Schwab account, like your TD account, that's going to help things out.
Handicap it. Chances of a Bitcoin ETF this year?
60% this year.
60. Nick? Chances?
10.
10. I'm with Nick. They still haven't figured out. Remember, you're not dealing with the CFTC here. This is not futures.
All right.
Different people. SEC is terrified. Grandma is going to buy Bitcoin ETF. It's going to collapse. And 5 years later, all the people running the SEC are going to get hauled in front of Congress and say, "Are you the guys who approved Grandma buying the Bitcoin ETF?" It's not the CFTC.
But
SEC.
if it's on registered brokerage statements, so much better because they can see what's going on. All right, we're going to bet a cheeseburger on that.
Very good. I'm in on that. Like crypto.
Okay, so Bitcoin options, they are officially here. And in fact, CME's Bitcoin options saw a first day volume of over $2.3 million, which is more than Bakkt's first day volume when Bakkt came on board. And here's what these cheeseburger eaters won't tell you. They won't tell you that Bitcoin options and Bitcoin futures and even a Bitcoin ETF, that's just another way for the regulators, the people with power, to be able to manipulate the Bitcoin price without necessarily having to own any Bitcoin. Options equal manipulation. This channel will tell you that. I think that's what you like. Keep in mind that manipulation from these speculators, it's a double-edged sword, meaning that it can manipulate the price up just as much as it can manipulate the price down. But now that options on Bitcoin futures have launched, here's what you need to know. Well, traditional options allow the buyer of that option to purchase the underlying asset, in this case Bitcoin, to purchase Bitcoin in the case of a call option, or sell the underlying in the case of a put option. So to simplify it, it gives that person the option to buy or sell Bitcoin in this case at a later date based on where you speculate the price of Bitcoin might be at that later date. It gives you the option to buy or sell later. Now, in this case, options on Bitcoin futures have just launched. So in this case, options on futures are just a bit different in that the owner of a call option has the right at option expiration not to buy or sell, but to take a long position in the Bitcoin futures contract traded at CME, while the owner of a put option has the right to take a short position in those futures options. So in layman's terms, this is just another way for these guys to manipulate the price. Like it or hate it, we now have it. And in fact, we can, in some aspects, use this to kind of see where do these people think that the price of Bitcoin will be in the next couple of months. Well, options on Bitcoin futures right now are implying an extreme amount of volatility. Just after midday on Monday, the 8,000 strike put option expiring in April was trading at 72% implied volatility, suggesting that traders believe Bitcoin is likely to be between 6,900 and 9,900 when those April options expire. So quite the range, 72% implied volatility. These guys don't even know. But for you and me, the average hodler, let's use this. Let's check back on this and use this to see where these traders, where these manipulators think Bitcoin's price will be in the next few months. So hit subscribe. You do not want to miss one of our daily videos keeping you informed on Bitcoin, on the whole market. Now, Bitcoin's up almost 10% today. We are soaring past 8,700. The big winners in the top 10, Bitcoin SV, it was up over 100%. It surpassed Tether. It's about to surpass Bitcoin Cash. And of course, EOS comes in third, up over 21% right now. Now, we're going to talk about this in a little bit, especially Bitcoin SV, up over 100%. But just to finish up on these guys, and I said that lovingly when I called them cheeseburger eaters. I love cheeseburgers. To finish up on these guys, In general, options on Bitcoin futures will likely be a great tool for speculators in the cryptocurrency space. Speculators in other asset classes have known for a long time that options offer the ability to limit losses and create unique payoff profiles. So this is a way to limit a speculator's risk. And that makes sense to me because remember what this guy said. He said that a Bitcoin ETF, he's saying that the Bitcoin ETF will probably not come into fruition in this year because these companies are worried about if they recommend Bitcoin ETFs, if they offer Bitcoin ETFs to grandmas out there and Bitcoin tanks in 5 years, well, these guys are going to be liable. I think that just kind of illustrates how early we are. I mean, it's still highly speculative. Bitcoin, the big kahuna, it's still highly speculative for institutional money. Now, next piece of news, maybe some of you are thinking, oh my God, Bitcoin SV up 100%. Is this the real Bitcoin? Oh, is Bitcoin Cash the real Bitcoin? Now, of course, the answer is no. These are some of the top altcoins right now. But either way, should we be looking at that as a long-term investment opportunity? And I think that Hal Finney, one of the OG Bitcoiners, way back in 2009, he said it best. Hal Finney called why Bitcoin cannot be replaced at the top back in 2011. And this is just a little bit of perspective that people forget that I want to share with you right now. Bitcoin Cash offers faster, better features than Bitcoin. Doesn't that make it better? Well, in a post from May 2011, Finney explained any successful replacement of the Bitcoin blockchain, meaning copies or forks like Litecoin, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, any successful replacement of the Bitcoin blockchain will forever undermine the credibility of any successor. So what's that mean? It means that how is an investor to know that that simply won't happen again? Meaning that for those of you that are concerned that you missed out on Bitcoin Cash, well, then we got an optimization. We got Bitcoin SV. The people that are coming into the space a year from now that are concerned, hey, I missed out on Bitcoin SV, well, then we'll have another optimization then. And despite all the optimizations, there's only one Bitcoin. So rebooting Bitcoin, well, rebooting now may benefit a few thousand early adopters, meaning the people that held one Bitcoin SV really saw the benefit, up over 100%. But what will happen when hundreds of million use the next Bitcoin SV? They'll be just as jealous and envious of you as you were of others. Given the precedent you want to set, how will you argue against another reboot? So, in my opinion, these things will keep happening. Let me know what you think. And one last thing, just to offer both sides of the Bitcoin. Some other perspective is, in my opinion, this Hal Finney argument is only valid for forks of Bitcoin or very similar code bases, Litecoin, for example. Meaning that in 2011, when this quote was said, in 2011 there was no Ethereum. Ethereum's smart contract utility could far outpace Bitcoin's store of value utility, for example. So let me know what you think. One thing that seems to be for sure is that nobody's arguing Bitcoin's legitimacy as the best store of value digital gold in the space. Or do you disagree? Let me know. But next piece of news, LinkedIn says blockchain is a top skill for 2020. This just came out. Check this out. Blockchain is listed as the #1 hard skill for 2020 in a new report compiled by job site LinkedIn. In a direct quote, last year, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and analytical reasoning led LinkedIn's global list of the most in-demand hard skills. Well, in LinkedIn's 2020 report, they're all still on the list again this year. But a skill we weren't even looking at a year ago, blockchain, tops the list of most in-demand hard skills for 2020. Hey, my question to you is, well, how did they choose? How did they know? Well, after analyzing the profiles of users on their platform, on LinkedIn, after analyzing the profiles of the users who are getting hired at the highest rates, LinkedIn researchers found blockchain to be the most in-demand skill. So the top rankings might actually be a result of the higher wages that employers are ready to pay for people who can bring blockchain to their business. So let me remind you, blockchain as an enterprise solution, blockchain for a business. Why would a business need blockchain? you need a blockchain if you need something to be censorship resistant. So blockchain as an enterprise solution for me is not always needed, because often if you use it in a business, you're going to need to make it fast, and the faster you make a blockchain, the more centralized it is. And the more centralized a blockchain is, well, how censorship resistant then is it? Again, these are just questions that I have circling around in my mind. Obviously, business giants have already caught the blockchain virus. IBM, Oracle, JP Morgan Chase, Microsoft, Amazon, and American Express all use blockchain. And you know what? All these companies pretty much have centralized blockchains that they use. So I guess, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be, it's not over yet. Obviously, this is still the number one hard skill. Employers are looking for it. So I will probably continue to see this into this next decade. All right. Like always, I'll see you tomorrow. Hit the like button.